rally people, and then we've seen them just look completely lost at sea. So who do we get in the server? Time will tell. Interesting, we've got Theme Park coming along. It's like a bus today, Des. You don't see it for the longest time, and then two come along at once.
All at once. No complaints at all, because you and I don't think have cast this map this stage. I don't recall casting it, at least.
No, I quite like a bit of Theme Park.
I was really happy to see it back in the pool, to be completely honest with you. So, yep, quite delighted that we finally get to cast a game of it. KB going to be the first ban taken away by CYCLOPS, which to me just screams to their playstyle, Tim. They don't want to be tracked down. They don't want to be called up by the KB. They're ghosting her at this point, and they'll be ghosting DAMWON Kia when they start off on the attack inside. Finka going to follow through from DAMWON Kia. A spicy ban coming out there, giving her strength on the team. Spoke a lot about her place in the meta at the minute, juicing up your entry players before you go in for that fight. Can res people from distance, a Gon 6, got nades, got an LMG. She does everything, so it's no surprise at all to see her taken away, and Mirror going to be the next ban.
Yeah, pretty standard on the defensive side so far. A little bit of variation on the attack. We've got the last one locked in pretty quick. It's going to be Maestro, so it's all focused around Intel for those defensive bans. Going to be the Mirror and the Maestro locking things down. So we get into things. Round number 1, DAMWON Kia versus CYCLOPS. This could be a real clash of the titans here in APAC North, to be fair. These are two teams that have been breaking into the world scene. They've been having some real impact in those international events, DAMWON Kia especially, but CYCLOPS have had their moments as well. And if both of them show up on their best today, this could be a real top-level game. And they're going to be fighting for it. It's about the prestige. It's about that top spot. It's about the seeding going into the playoffs. It's the money. It's, everything that goes along with it is on the table here, and I love when it comes down to a straight fight. It's not the two teams playing other people and seeing what the results are. It's just one versus the other. Winner takes the top.
Absolutely love it. That's what it comes down to in the last game, and that's what you love to see. Thinking back 18 months ago in APAC North, the big rivalry was Giants coming up against Cloud9, now known as Sandbox. They were the two dominant teams in the region. DAMWON Kia, it felt like, came out of seemingly nowhere, and CYCLOPS kind of got their act together once they picked up a couple of new backroom staff members and really started to look better. And going into Mexico, all eyes were on CYCLOPS to be the team that delivered, but it was DAMWON Kia that stepped in and kind of stole the show away from them. So CYCLOPS are kind of trailing behind DAMWON Kia, who are definitely at the forefront of APAC North and their spearhead into the international community at events, as we've seen both across Sweden and across Mexico. So for me, there's a lot in this game. For CYCLOPS want to prove, okay, yep, we are still a top team that can contend, or for DAMWON Kia to really establish that they are the best team in the region.
We just had an early lurk out towards those arcade windows by Ayagator on the Mozzie. I think he's now escaped himself off. He's going to be hiding away. He's trying to definitely be slippery here, I would say. He's just trying to make a bit of a nuisance of himself. Got that top floor hatch open, so will be ready to drop away. But the top floor presence from CYCLOPS is interesting here. They've got 3 up there, so it's definitely going to be a job for DAMWON Kia to clear them out. They're going to start opening the hatches on the very tippy top of the building to gain some access. Ring going to take some damage there, but Gatarada's going to find himself downed and out.
Nice close on to the first man. As the entry, it is out towards that drug side. It's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. The big focus is naturally going to be getting these walls opened up. Knowing the attackers, they're probably starting to think about how they push their way through and get inside of that yellow wall, or you go via maintenance. It's quite rare to see a barrel set up here inside of the pro scene.
Katsang opening windows, looking to get into this top floor clearance. There comes the jump out. You've always got to be careful of that one. Anaton taking advantage. Courted just caught out on the drones there. Not in a position to be able to defend his teammate who was on the rappel. And Black Ray, he just makes things go from bad to worse for DAMWON Kia inside of round 1. Able to shut Rin down. And despite that early entry kill, it's now 4 versus 3 in the advantage of CYCLOPS as they swung it around.
And you start looking at the resources they've got left here. Oh my god,
he's going out.
He was. It's Black Ray, the Black Ray specialist. Get out of every window possibly available and see what damage you can do. They're quite fortunate in the 3 they've got left here that they can still open the wall, but they don't have any breaching rounds. They don't have the sledge on side anymore, so they can't really play from above. And that was a very fast, rapid trade. Blink and you'll miss it quite literally as both players take each other out.
Bullets crossing mid-air there, both singing to A fatal effect on the enemy. We're going to have the wall open from barrels in towards Throne. Courted managing to get that one open. The push is going to have to just basically focus completely on there, as we've only got 2 players left. Woogieman and Courted. Courted able to get in and start getting this diffuser down here. And the air jabs might make it difficult for a challenge to come in. A little bit of information going to be accessed from the cam, but it's too late. I don't think they knew that the plant was going down there, Des. Cyclops have taken their eye off the ball. Woogieman's going to watch the flank into barrels, and Courted's just holding the diffuser itself. Woogieman picks up Irrigator as he does try to rotate around, and Suzuki's trying to get anything going here, but this is not easy for Cyclops now.
Absolutely not. No, those air jabs really penning them in place as well. Oh, sees the head but can't quite click on it there. Just a couple of fractions off when it came around to hitting him. This 2 versus 2 now is looking pretty dicey for the side of Cyclops. They're getting flashed out. They're running into potential air jabs. It's looking ugly. Coated finding one. Can't find the next. It's a 1 versus 1. Anderton needs to go aggressive. He's not going to find the man. DAMWON Kia get the push in through barrels, get the plant down, and get out of dodge.
DAMWON Kia get away with robbery, quite frankly, there. Just that Courted is able to go in a 2v3, smart air jab positioning from Woogieman to prevent him being pushed. Really does a job there, and they just absolutely seem to catch Cyclops completely unaware. They're still deploying black eye cameras, trying to get any information, trying to see what's going on, and the diffuser is suddenly down and locked in, and DAMWON Kia did a great job of being able to hold on to it as well, just focusing on the right angles. Nice prediction of Woogieman, just knowing that the man was going to push back through Arcade and able to get it. So Cyclops, they're going to move on. They're going to head upstairs. They're not going to go back to Throne and Armory. It's going to be bunks and daycare this time around.
Beautiful stuff. All right, then, time for a change of scenery. I agree with you as well. DAMWON Kia definitely nicked that one at the very end. And for all I said about, don't really see barrels plays, maybe that was part of the plan, is they expect us to go maintenance. They expect maybe a yellow-sided push if we have the vertical control. Just completely flip things round and just strong arm our way in through barrels. They're not ready for it because they had a couple of players out in maintenance looking to deny on that side of the map. They just weren't expecting this sudden rush to come in behind the throne itself and the plant to go down from the barrel side. So really well played by DAMWON Kia, playing in that man disadvantage. Let's see how things set up here though. Anderton once again charging around on this Valkyrie. Normally plays some more exotic operators, shall we say, maybe a little bit restricted by the bans coming in here as well. I'm sure he'd be very sad on the attacking side that his team have banned away his normal go-to of DKB.
Cyclops clearly setting up to try and repel an east-sided attack should it come. And it looks like it likely will do, as Rin is heading towards that side of the building with Yas in tow. So they're likely going to go in and try and find themselves an entry across the top floor. Yas is actually going to go in underneath, and there is somebody there who's potentially going to make a challenge. It's Irrigator once again. I picked up on the sort of slippery playstyle he was bringing along last time. He's going to move himself away, get up Dragon Stairs without taking any damage from that nade. And if he's not careful, he's going to find himself pinned in a corner very quickly here.
I don't think he minds that, Tim. He's happy to fight his way out. A quick note, by the way, 3 Claymores on the side of DAMWON Kia plus the Nomad. They're that terrified of jump outs of windows that they're dropping Claymores pretty much everywhere they can. They really want to try and prevent Blackray from being able to do what he did back in that first round. Irrigator now looking to step out and go for a challenge. No one else is out here with him. I think, yes, they are. It's Coated, ready and waiting. I thought he was back on the rappel, but 3 members of DAMWON Kia were ready and waiting, and they find the entry.
It was well prepared there from the Korean side, ready to take that challenge as it came out, and that's maybe just going to punish Cyclops and make them think twice about getting overly aggressive into the exterior of the map. Katsang just taking a drone out there, but it will have been one captured by Mozzie, so just doing that to ensure that intel is not going across to the other side. There's going to be more of a top floor push required here. They need to start sweeping across from the east, but I think their presence has now scared everybody out of cash, out of bathroom and through back into office and beyond, really pushing them back towards the site now. We can see 3 out of 4 remaining are locked into site.
Just looking at Cyclops there and how aggressive Irrigator was trying to be out of cash door, it brings me back to what a lot of teams said about them at the last few lands I've been to, SI included, was, it's the team that you don't know what to expect stepping into the survey. You just cannot anticipate what to do, and for that reason, they are horrible to play against. But so far, DAMWON Kia are making it look pretty comfortable. They're dealing with this aggression. They're finding ways to get numbers back. They're innovating on the spot to deal with weaknesses in Cyclops' setup. So crazy they might be, but undefeatable, they are not.
Just seeing use of the updated Goyo gadget there, and I do love that use of it. Put it on the back of a reinforcement, it gets breached, and immediately you've got fire pouring out. It just prevents anybody being able to rush in through that breach immediately, at least without taking heavy damage. But taking heavy damage is Black Ray trying to hold on to Cafe. Anaton's going to shut down Yas elsewhere and leave us now in a 4v4. Katsang taking a little bit of damage, and Black Ray continuing to try and get aggressive on the window. He nearly catches one onto Rin, and then we've got a kill going either way. 3 versus 3 as this round continues into a little bit of chaos at the minute. Woogieman, however, manages to find Suzuki. Corted's able to start opening the wall up, but gets pinned from inside. 1v2, it's all up to Woogieman. 1v1 again, runs out of time. Cyclops able to lock things down using the clock as a 6th man, but it was close for them again.
Well, it was. Woogie's 3k at the end there, a little bit scary, and I can't remember which player it was. I think it was the Goya that was inside of Bunk itself, sorry, in daycare, just swinging across and finding 2 kills as the second man ran into his pre-fire line as well. So unfortunate. Otherwise, it would have been a 2 versus 2 coming into the end of it. Not that it mattered because they couldn't chase the man down the arcade stairs. Cyclops get one on the board thanks to a little bit of help from the clock. And now I believe we're heading back down once again in towards Throne Room. Clearly some ideas on the side of Cyclops as to what can be done here.
That's it, they're going to try and mix things up a little bit. To be fair, last time around, round 1, DAMWON Kia won this round, but they really never should have done. And Cyclops are going to know that. They're going to think, we can go back, we can play that again. Basically, we just don't let Corted slip in a 2v3 and put the diffuser down on the ground. That's going to be the key for them. So Cyclops, it's no surprise to see them come back here. I don't think it's a bad decision at all. They can probably play it largely the same as they did previously. Already, Ayagator on the Mozzie, you can see just setting up those sneaky little traps. He's going to be knocking holes in the wall, making it difficult for him to be challenged, but giving him every opportunity to spray down anybody coming through that door. We saw him very mobile last time around and for the last couple of rounds, and I think that's likely to continue for him, but not had too much joy so far.
No. And Katsang stepping away from playing on the sledge, which he had in round 1, now to bringing along the ace. Clearly 1 and 2 hard breaches on side. Interesting that they kind of sacrificed away the sledge, though with the breaching rounds in the back pocket of Ace, it's far from the end of the world. That's a weird question to you. Does it sound weird when someone's talking about Ace the operator and you're stood right there and normally your ears perk up when you hear the word Ace?
They did at first. Yeah, they did it. It did at first. When he first came into the game, quite often, particularly when I'm playing ranked and people will call Ace, what are you doing? But I'm not playing it. Like, and I'm like, what?
What am I doing?
I've just got 3 kills. What are you doing? I mean, that never happened, but you know. But yeah, at first it did. Yeah, it did catch my ears at first. Yes. But I'm sort of used to it now. My brain's sort of evolved to be able to.
Oh, big brain! I see high IQ, low IQ inside a cache again for Ayagator. Got his eyes on the cache and nothing else. Yas finding an entry. That's twice now that he's died inside of that room as well, basically for free.
Ayagator, as I said, he's trying to be mobile, he's trying to be a problem, but to be honest, DAMWON Kia have got the answers, and you're always going to struggle to cause this team a problem on entry because they're so thorough with the droning and with the push of players like Rin and Yas going in there. The challenge over and over and over and over for Black Ray, but he just can't find his man, and Woogieman shuts him down with a headshot. 5v3, DAMWON Kia looking much better in this throne attack than they did last time.
Everyone else, DAMWON Kia is just like, why are all your teams so afraid of Cyclops? Just expect the monkey and you'll be absolutely fine. Because they're jumping out of windows, throwing themselves out of doorways, yet they're finding a response every time. Woogie being inside of control there, being pivotal with that cross angle, able to respond in quick time to when the push came through. May have been nervous that someone from CAG would have come pushing in through initiation, but alas, it was just one man by himself, and 2 roamers now down for the side of Cyclops means the last 3 are all dug in on site, and DAMWON Kia have got a lot of time to play with.
Got Yas on the drones whilst Katsang goes in and starts to get things opened up. Just going to create an angle on into sight, make things difficult. Gatorada in an interesting position there. I'm not sure exactly what the play is. He's obviously expecting some pressure to come from bathroom side, maybe catch somebody out, but there's not really anybody over there, Gatorada, to be honest. You're just one of 3 guns that really needs to be looking in a different direction. We're going to see the Goyo taken out, the wall opened up, and it's looking pretty good for DAMWON Kia at this point to start pushing forward for that final execute, and Gatorada needs to get himself back to sight.
Genuinely don't think in, admittedly gold and low plat, I don't think I've ever seen that double wall behind Dragon reinforced, let alone an Ace actually breach into it as well. But they have opened it up to rotate back through into maintenance. Yas, a second kill in the round. They try and push their way through the breach, and CYCLOPS finally finds something back in the round. But is it too little too late here? One Goyo burns, the second one coming off. This C4 could be massive if it nets onto 2, but it's not going to find any. He's still tucked in. I think it got shot at in midair. Woogie with the close. 4 left alive for DAMWON Kia. A clinical round in which they dealt with CYCLOPS at every single turn.
Pretty clean for DAMWON Kia there, just able to use that man advantage that they gain. 5v3 is always going to be a tough fight for the side with only 3 players left. Gatorada was just hoping to get something cheap, get a little freebie out a bathroom window and maybe just give a little bit of a tip of favour towards themselves, but it just didn't pay off, and it was difficult for him to fight his way back into sight. Managed to get one, but couldn't double down and find any more. Was taken out, and DAMWON Kia just roll on through town at that point and take the round. It's going to be round number 4 now as we head back up to that top floor. Of course, CYCLOPS not able to take Bunker Daycare because they won that one. They've got to stay away from there for 2 complete rounds before they can go back again. So it leaves them with 2 choices. They could have gone where they have, which is initiation and office, or the alternative is downstairs in storage, but they're going to go for the top floor sites.
I love how you can see the entirety of the top floor on that overhead, by the way. Like, just see absolutely everything. Look, and Medics is just like, just take a look. Enjoy the view. You can see literally everything they're doing with the setup as well. Beautiful stuff. Thank you very much, Medics. Let's see then how this setup goes. For now, they've got a rotation open through from initiation in towards the Bunker Daycare side of things. A bit of an extension out towards Cash through the little soft holes that open up in the wall to see through to the doorway. So they are looking to play the whole breadth of this top floor, which I guess invites a couple of questions on the attacking side. Do you want to use things like nades from below? The answer on DAMWON Kia side is no, Des. We've got Katsang bringing along the Ying, and that is going to be the pivotal part of our plan.
We'll keep an eye on that operator, see exactly how and where the Candelas are used and to how much effect, but for the time being, before that can happen, DAMWON Kia need to get themselves established. Gatorada just playing as that sort of link at the minute, just trying to hold them out of control particularly, and just create a little bit of space there, put in the canisters on the back of the wall, just prevent the breach coming through, prevent the rush, and just trying to hold on to this east side.
Yeah, I mean, this time around, at least no one's actually sat in Cash. iGator has had a 2 for 2 bad experiences in there so far. Would not recommend on TripAdvisor. Wants to stick away and keep himself more dug in towards site. A couple of the swings coming in from towards the connector. Rin, now at least knowing that there is some threat coming from that direction, has got to take his time a little bit on this one. Drones going in front, so for DAMWON Kia here, being slowed down at least a little bit initially. So for CYCLOPS, I'm enjoying the patience that I'm seeing here. A little more reserved in their play, but it is keeping DAMWON Kia at bay.
It is for the time being. Katsang looking to drop the hatch potentially into control. It's going to be quite a Route 1 tactic for the Ying to just go straight down there, try and Candela into sight and maybe get a diffuser down, but there's more work that needs to be done before they can really push for that. Woogie Man just on the cafe door, looking to hold down the west side of things as well, potentially. And CYCLOPS are sort of surrounded here at the minute, but they're holding on well. They're not being bullied, and they've not lost any manpower as of yet. Sorry, CYCLOPS. Rin, he's going to find one onto Suzushi, and that leaves us now in a 5v4. Another good start to a round for DAMWON Kia as Rin comes in with a second. This time it's Gatorada, and that, I will bet, is going to give the opportunity now for Katsang to think about pushing forward, but Ayagator, he's being slippy again.
There's no real serious impediment, it feels, to DAMWON Kia. We haven't seen a Jaeger or a Omai yet at all. So these nades, these Zofia impacts, they can just go wherever they please. They can take out shields. They can take out bulletproofs. They can take out whatever it is the other side are throwing at them. So really, it just comes down to DAMWON Kia going, cool, we've cleared it out. Now we can push through. And it's about as simple as that. Ayagator in a really key position. Will anyone see him? Sees one, goes for the spray down, does get the man. And oh my God, doesn't made aware in time. Yas also falls by the wayside. Katsang getting one back. It's a 3 versus 1. Make it a 2 as Black Ray starts to even it back out. Katsang and Coated, the last 2 to go with 20 seconds on the clock. We've got to see a big play coming out of Black Ray.
Katsang was getting the diffuser down, but the big play comes, Des. Black Ray's able to shut him down. That means the diffuser needs to be recovered.
No!
Coated goes for it, but shut down as Black Ray comes up massive with a 1 versus 3 clutch to keep CYCLOPS fighting here. That's going to see them level it up 2-2.
Wow, the big flank from Ayagator as well. Up Dragon, not caught by a drone. Previously, you'd have Woogie Man being the man who sat there inside of control, playing on the Nomad, looking to lock this sort of thing down. But with no control inside of there, all the focus instead going up towards the top side around Cash. They just leave themselves blindsided. Really good flank and a great 1 versus 2 coming out from Black Ray. Again, a close round, but a round is all that really counts. It's 2 for 2.
You got to say, that's a bit of a missed opportunity for DAMWON Kia there. It was an attack that might have just been more in place on Throne, Des, because that's what it was. It was thrown away, 3v1 lead. There you go, there's the stare, that's what I wanted. And here we see it. Black Ray on the replay, it was just great from him. You know, he did everything right. The thing is, he didn't really need to move his feet, and that was the problem. That's why I say DAMWON Kia have thrown that round away a little bit. Didn't really need to move his feet, particularly to pick up those last two players. Stops the defuse, gets the final kill onto Courted. It was just all a bit too easy for him.
Just a little bit indeed. Right, let's see how this Ying does in round number 5. So we saw it in the last round. We've had quite a mix of operators coming in from Katsang, actually rotating between Sledge, Capitao, Ace, Ying so far. 4 operators in one half, definitely not a bad count to be bringing along, whilst the rest of the team staying relatively static in their roles. So here's kind of fitting that role of what I call the augmenter, the guy who, if you're playing a certain FPS game, you find yourself chucking like an attachment on there, it'd make it a shotgun. Chuck another on there, it's a sniper. Just changing around how the whole team plays as a structure based on that one individual operator. So it's quite imperative he stays alive until the later part of the round, because that really is where you come into effect. Same as, say, Capitao, more useful now in the early round because he's got the hard breach gadgets, but you're playing for those fire bolts, you're playing for those smoke bolts. Please. Oh my God, okay.
How many bullets does it take to open a hatch?
Tell me, Tim, did you count?
An awful lot.
I mean, he's gone through like nearly a whole mag of the LMG.
20 of them.
It's 130 bullets from Rin.
But he had an explosive charge. Okay, I mean...
No, we need those, Tim, just in case.
What do I know? DAMWON Kia opening the hatch through unconventional means and continuing to push on through the round. 5v5, 1 minute 10 in, not really established inside of the map yet. They're going to be attacking onto Bunken Daycare. They did so back in round 2, and CYCLOPS, they were able to win that one as well, so it could be an opportunity for them to take a slight lead here, but you never count out DAMWON Kia. They've been great on the entry so far. CYCLOPS having to regularly fight from behind in terms of manpower, so can DAMWON Kia do it again?
I'll kind of go back to what I said earlier on as well. No real anti-throne utility setup coming in from CYCLOPS unless you're looking towards the Aruni that we've seen for the last couple of rounds. Outside of that, nades can go free, impacts can go free, Candelas can reach their targets, smokes can go as deep as you like. There's no real worry and nothing to slow DAMWON Kia down once they're taking out shields and things that initially get in the way, which is why I'm worried for CYCLOPS. They just get bowled over in a good few of these rounds.
Courted is now established inside of initiation. No major threat to him, so the opportunity is going to be there for the Ace to use those Selma charges and get the wall open. But of course, the Mute Jammer will need clearing off unless he uses it right up at that top corner. It may well be that he can get it activated, but he's just looking for the spot. There we go. He's just outside of it. All you've got to do is get outside of that spherical radius. In goes the nade. It's going to blow out the Goyo canister. So that will start burning away. 36 seconds left to go. They've got a route into sight, but DAMWON Kia, they need to get working.
Yes, Coates is actually watching the flank from Dragon this time. Much better compared to before when they got hit pretty hard on the flank coming up. Speaking of, here comes Alligator, looking to start thinking about making his move. The drone has seen him, and now they know that he's lurking around here inside of maintenance. Or a window jump out's also on the cards. Out he goes. Boys, where was the call? You had the drone and he's got 2! You knew that he went running into maintenance, and surely that call must have been there, but it was sorely missing. Here comes Yas, trying to play for the refrag, but as soon as she finds another, it's all fell apart for DAMWON Kia at the bitter end of things here. It's going to end on time. Alligator completely destroying them on the windows.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. DAMWON Kia yet again suffering to the same type of jump out. This time even worse. Alligator gets himself 2. He's outside for 10 seconds and just cannot be stopped. He's been threatening something like that throughout this game so far. I've commented a couple of times how he's playing these sneaky plays. He's sliding around the map, keeping himself mobile, and that's the exact sort of moment that he was looking for, and it puts CYCLOPS in the lead 3-2. Big play from Alligator to really announce himself into this game.
It's a big play that just shouldn't have happened though, Tim.
Absolutely not.
Like, Coated,
it's a nomad that he's killing.
You need to be asking the question of Coated. You have watched the man run towards Dragon, dip back down into maintenance. You sent it all on the drone. Why are you not screaming at your team? Oh, iGator maintenance, Aruni maintenance, whatever you want to say, give the indication that there's a chance he could jump out. I don't know if he just mistakenly assumed, okay, he's not going to jump out, he's just rotated through maintenance, whatever. But you at least make that call to make your team aware, because otherwise there are 2 more players inside of sight. That man in the 2 versus 5 who was on site and brought it down to a 1 versus 5 is not alone there. He's got 3 with him. That all comes down to just one simple call that could have changed the outcome of that round. And CYCLOPS, again, feeling like they've got a bit of a freebie there, Tim.
They've got away with one. They know that. It's just one of those big roll of the dice plays. Like, yep, I'm going out of the window. We'll see what we get. You know, throw it at the wall, see what sticks. And in that case, it was 2 kills and it turned the round for them. So absolutely perfectly timed aggression coming out of CYCLOPS, and DAMWON Kia have never really got to grips with it. You know, no matter how many times it's happened, they've still been able to continue going out of windows, peeking onto the outside, taking the fight to DAMWON Kia. They haven't been able to shut them down. It's going to be round 6 now. DAMWON Kia are looking for an even half at least here. In honesty, if they can get this, you sort of fancy their chances at being able to lock it down on defence. But right now, CYCLOPS are fighting hard and they want to take that advantage into the second half.
If they lose this, it definitely becomes a big guessing game, and whether or not we see DAMWON Kia go into overtime yet again in this map in this stage. Let's see how things shape up, though. It is that Armory Throne to close things out here on the downstairs, and we've seen a bit of a mixed bag approach to this so far, coming in through maintenance, coming in through barrels in a 3 versus 4. A good kind of roll of the dice on what you're getting when you're coming up against DAMWON Kia. And here again, no sledge, but they have now got 6 of the breaching rounds, 5 left, 6 charges, sorry, on side overall to help them get the floor opened up.
Just going to be creeping in through storage there. We've got the man just looking for an opener. It's Rin again. Found plenty of entry kills so far. Might have an opportunity here if he can sneak in behind and maybe just catch CYCLOPS unawares. Yes, going to take out one of those yokai drones, but you can't push the door when you're stunned, yes! iGator taking full advantage of the dizziness effect that was on the man there and managing to get the entry onto Yas. Katsang manages to shut down iGator, but not before they lose Rin as well. And it's a 4v3 for CYCLOPS and a lot of work ahead of DAMWON Kia.
I thought we might see the Gadarada C4 coming over. He's got it in hand here, just waiting to toss it over and towards maintenance when he knows the push is definitely coming from there. Now they're starting to open that wall up, and it hasn't come out here. It's held onto it for now. Some more looking towards plant denial if we see the push coming from DAMWON Kia.
Okay then, Anaton, he's going to be looking to lock this down. What a kill he finds onto Katsang. Out through the breach. Look at that bold, brave move from the Echo. And here comes the re-peek again. Anaton cannot and will not be stopped. Finding a headshot onto Coated Woogieman. He manages to get one, but can't get any more. It's nothing more than a consolation as Suzuki shuts out the round. And that's going to be 4-2 on the half for CYCLOPS. And they are looking good right now.
Oh, you've got to be really kicking yourself again if you're DAMWON Kia. There's a couple of rounds in that half that you should have won and had it sat at 4-2 to your side, but through tooth and nail, CYCLOPS managed to get themselves 4 rounds in the half. And you kind of mentioned it, I thought in some rounds they were really good at dealing with their own play. They were great at closing down iGator inside of Cash, for example, but when it came to jump outs, when it came to more rapid aggression out of CYCLOPS rather than holding a spot and planting their feet, that was what DAMWON Kia struggled to deal with. So when it's more mobile roaming, that's where they've been hurt. When it's more static, that's when DAMWON Kia looks more in control.
It's, yeah, I mean, ultimately, DAMWON Kia were good at clearing the roam at the beginning of the game. And then the back end of that half, it's been a real struggle for them. And iGator particularly has found his feet, found himself now on 5 kills, almost catching up with Blackray and Anaton there, and just really doing some good work for them, just keeping himself unpredictable and making life very, very difficult for DAMWON Kia. And they just couldn't keep that momentum, that energy going on the entry that they had to begin with. So we're going to see DAMWON Kia now move on to the defence. It's going to be Armoury and Throne Room for them that they try to lock down. We've got quite a heavy presence up on the top floor from them as well, so maybe taking a leaf out of the CYCLOPS book and just looking to do a bit of damage on the roam.
I love the lineup we've got, by the way. The Ossa and the Nook inside. I mean, Anaton, as we've seen, well, not Anaton strictly, but Ossa players, very good at drawing and baiting away attention. Who's good at capitalising on a lack of attention? It's always going to be a Nook. Gadarada's just sneaking his way forwards here as well, under the guise of darkness. They can't see him on the cams, trying to decide exactly where his push is going to come from. Opens up inside of barrels here. Cams have been shot out, so they still don't know that he's here, at least for now. But again, keep an eye on where the Ossa goes versus where the Nook goes, because that's where you're going to see a big point of impact.
Yash just aggressing on towards that door. I like what DAMWON are doing here, fighting them right up at the boundary of the map there, not really wanting to give any ground, not wanting to let them in. Gatarada's going to drop in, don't worry, the smoke was a floor down underneath him. Sees his opportunity there. The knock almost able to catch shots onto Yas, but Yas just moving too fleet-footed for him, heads across past the vending machines and to safety, or relative safety, inside a bunk behind that double reinforcement for the time being. Just going to try and hold on to the angle for double door, and DAMWON here, they've dug their heels in here, they've set the stall out, and they're waiting for CYCLOPS to try and make something happen.
I think Coated sat below, by the way. He keeps on hopping onto the Valkyrie cameras. He's definitely waiting with the shotgun to be able to blast some holes in the floor from below, assuming they go on the north side plant and try and see what damage they can do from there. So, not south side plant, sorry. If they try and go down yellow to open up the ceiling, that's when you'll see him starting to make an impact. That's why they've got the book on side right. Let's see what the push comes in, though, because one's already started to march his way forward. Gatarada kind of doubling back on himself a little bit, and you can see they really want this top floor to be cleared out, but as of yet, are really struggling to make much progress because they can't get this wall opened up yet. They're going to ignore it for now and double back down Dragon instead, put all the focus on the maintenance side like we're used to seeing, and Anaton again is going to lead the charge on this Ossa.
So we'll see exactly where the Ossa shield is placed. It's going to be just to the side of Dragon, giving a peek on into sight, but it's playing shield versus shield as the defenders have theirs set up in response as well. Black Ray is going to start opening up some verticals. They are very limited here. He's going to use the book skeleton key to get what he can, but there's not too much that leads directly into sight, or at least positions where these defenders are going to try to hold. DAMWON Kia with 5 left at the minute. They're not looking bad here. 40 seconds left to go. There's players out in the wilderness that haven't been picked up and could hit with a big flank.
Oh, here we go. I mean, Black Ray finds Coated. That's the one to start things off because it's the smoke taken off the board as well. All 3 smoke canisters disappeared. Woogieman using one of those impacts to clear off one of the Selmas on that east wall. Bearing in mind, there's no thermite on side here as well, so the Maverick getting too busy on the maintenance wall and also having the ace really deny those away. You can win the round off the back of that. Irrigator into a second, though. DAMWON Kira falling by the wayside.
Ossa just pushing in deep here, looking to deploy that shield potentially, but gives up and gets taken out. 4 versus 2. Diffuser down on the ground. Could this fall apart? 1 versus 3. Woogieman's holding on. There's 3 seconds left to go. Can this be rescued? Yes. CYCLOPS able to find that final kill with about 1.5, 2 seconds left. It really was the nick of time. Woogieman unable to keep himself out of the line of sight. He was doing everything he could. He was dodging, ducking, diving, trying to keep out of danger. But no, CYCLOPS shut him down. Go 5-2, and DAMWON Kia having a bit of a thrill ride, a bit of a nightmare here on Theme Park.
You can see why everyone abandoned this amusement park, Tim, because it is cursed. DAMWON Kia not having a good time. 4 rounds on the bounce now for CYCLOPS. Really picking themselves up, and we spoke about that attention drain that is the Ossa. Putting it to great use with that very aggressive push inside of sight. Anaton, one of the go-to resident main shield players that we have here in APAC North. I know there's a few around the world that everyone thinks of, but this guy, he does it a little bit different. Let's go into Bunk and Daycare then, see how round 8 plays out. CYCLOPS, one more round, and they at least guarantee overtime, but if I were them in this situation at 5-2, you're eyeing up all 3 points. You're going for the jugular of DAMWON Kia. And again, just setting those expectations, going into playoffs, maybe into the US Major, that it ain't quite so clear-cut that DAMWON Kia are the best team in the region.
And that's what we need to see now. You know, we talk so often about a rising tide raises all ships. DAMWON Kia, they have been the tide. There is no 2 ways about that. They have been the ones that have risen up to the top of the region. They are the ones that have really competed at the top level internationally. Now, everybody else in the region needs to raise themselves up to that DAMWON Kia level, and that's what we're starting to see. Teams like CYCLOPS coming out here, able to challenge them, able to potentially take wins off them. And the more that happens between APAC North and South, the more they will continue along that timeline that I have said so many times mirrors that of LATAM. It's just 12, 18 months behind where they're starting to really sort the strategy out now. The technical ability was always there. The mechanical skill, absolutely able to compete, and they're going to be a dangerous region, and the more that teams can compete with DAMWON Kia, the more that we'll see that now. Gatarada, he's heading in on the knock. He's looking for a sneaky, peaky play here.
Not just that, but I'm more concerned about Anderson playing here, smoking out the shield. Now I'll be able to basically blindly go onto it unless he gets sprayed, which he will, but they can't. Why are you still standing up?
Too easy. It's too easy.
He was really hoping to get the trade before Anderson pulled out a shot, but it was all too easy for him there, like you say. Second smoke comes out now and can look to step forward. Gatorada finding himself going down to the Woogie Man, but iGator steps in for a trade, so it's far from the end of the world. It's still a numbers advantage for Cyclops, Tim.
It is right now, 4 versus 3. Rin taking a lot of damage, and they could well lose another. They will indeed. 2 versus 4 now. DAMWON Kia looking a lot of like this abandoned theme park, Des. There's not much to go on. It's 1 versus 4. Suzushi finds Courted, and now Katsang fighting for his life, but shut down by BlackRay. And all of a sudden, Cyclops find themselves on the map point. They find themselves in a position to take the top spot in APAC North away from DAMWON Kia.
Just, it looks easy. Little anti-nade operator coming in from Cyclops in their entire defensive half, but we did exclusively see BlackRay bringing along the alibi and Gatorada playing on that Goyo. Just really interesting how you get those differences in approach to the game from both teams.
Certainly is, and right now there's a difference in results as well. Cyclops absolutely cruising so far. DAMWON Kia, it's now or never. No more mistakes. If you want that top spot, you better start winning some rounds, because one more loss is going to see this one ending early. And 7-2, I don't think would have been on many of the predictions for this game. It's been a tough one so far for the Korean side, but they've just got to knuckle down now and try and get themselves back into it. Gatorada going to open up that barrels window, potentially the arcade one as well. He's going to look to push in from that southwest side. Needs to be careful, because obviously there's a soft wall there that Woogieman's playing pretty aggressively.
Ooh, can't get rid of the mute gem on the other side of the fire extinguisher that's laid down here. In fact, there's not a fire extinguisher on this map. That's on, what is it? Canal.
It's a toolbox here, I think.
Here it is indeed a toolbox. They can't get through because there is a jammer on the other side. Nades can be quite hard to get through as well, because you've got to get it around the other side. Very nearly an entry engagement here out towards the Dragon side of things, but the man on DAMWON Kia has backed away into sight and got himself out of dodge.
BlackRay pretty aggressive there, just right on top of that drone as it was going at his feet, just looking to get that strong start for Cyclops. You can see that they've got the energy up now, the confidence is there, they're getting the kills. Mute Jammer, another issue. The Rotero this time making it round. Will it clear the Jammer? It is going to clear the Jammer, the shield, the barbed wire. That is a big one, but the 2 ADSs stay in play. However, Rin will not. Going down to the entry death again. Gatorada on the knock this time.
Just doing some real damage here. Yeah, you saw the perfect range there of the Floros, by the way. Gets the mute jammer, not the ADS is just above it, kind of representing that circular area of influence that it has. Still a lot of nades on the side for Cyclops, mind you, which is what I'm quite excited about, because now they're starting to clear away some utility. The nades can start flying, shields can disappear. DAMWON Kia can start to look even rockier and more fractured, as Cyclops still have about 90 seconds to play with here. It's a long old time to the end of that round, and already with Rin going down, it feels dicey.
Katsang on the hatch could have a big impact here. The Rotero now being used rather than to clear utility, but to clear manpower, to force Woogieman out of position. 1 minute left to go, and Cyclops need to be thinking about exactly how and where the final push is going to come from. They don't have a breach into sight yet, so that's something that they might need to work on, and it feels like they're still going to be chasing shadows as Katsang drops himself down to the bottom floor, and rather than staying up there on the top, Yas, they've no idea. Yas gets himself an absolute freebie onto BlackRay, and that is just going to throw a real spanner in the works here for Cyclops, because all of a sudden there is a cat amongst the pigeons and they need to find Yas.
Or a defender amongst the diffusers, you might say, Tim. They've got to try and clear him out, but it's so hard to do that as well. You know, they're in a spot where they're assaulting back. They've got rid of it. Okay, cool. He wasn't quite watching the right angle at the right time, but might be about to walk into another fight at the top of yellow here. I thought a man was about to step round. They know roughly where he is, but they've got to start looking at sight, because what was 80 seconds is now 15. They haven't got a lot of time. Here comes Yas. Can he find the man? Yes, he can. Down goes Gatorada. That might be enough to win in the round here in the final 5 seconds.
It's got to be. Suzushi finds a kill onto Katsang, and there goes one onto Yas, but with 2 seconds left to go, surely not. Woogieman down. It's going to tick down. It was tense and tight at the end, but DAMWON Kia, they just keep clinging onto that cliff face that they find themselves hanging off at the minute, and they take us into round number 10. 6-3 now.
An extra half a second in that round, it could have been over now. Just as he came swinging in, the clock hit 0 because Woogieman was down. It was a 1 versus 1 technically. Would have only taken a Cyclops to find the kill for this game to be over and done with. But DAMWON Kia hang on by a thread, as now they're going to try and cook up something special inside of lab and storage, a site that we haven't seen yet so far today. And instead, opting to go and play the other 3. So a bit of an off-site step into here for us, Tim.
It is going to be.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, for me, all of the sites on Theme Park are pretty viable. We see them all successfully defended. I don't have any real problem with storage. I'm not saying it's the best site on the map. You know, what an immediate weakness. If we look at sites, you know, viable sites, if you look at a map like Villa, I think there's a strong argument there that that's got, you know, 4 of the sort of the most rounded viability in terms of all sites. And it's because there's no external entrance exits into sites. There's no windows, there's no doors that go directly in. Whereas storage, it does have one. It's got that window looking directly in.
Bit of a death trap,
it's
though, isn't
always
it?
a bit of a weakness, but you're exactly right. There's a couple of boxes on the outside of that window that make it particularly difficult to play from. Thank you very much. And it just really narrows down the angles. It's just a smart way of keeping that window in place, but not easy to play because you just can't swing particularly well to take a fight there. You're going in through a real funnel there to try and get inside a site, so it still works pretty well.
For me, it's about the vertical control, though. Cafeteria, like attackers can get control of that, and you can open up the majority of site and just stop the defenders playing inside of it altogether. You can't really make the window super safe, but you can make it safer is the best way to look at it. So they'll have to be creative here, I think, DAMWON here in terms of how they defend it. It will no doubt be at range. But we'll see what CYCLOPS do to try and set themselves off because they haven't really got any vertical destruction here, Tim. They might even have to use some of those Roteros to try and burn through the floor if they want to play that angle.
Very possibly. The Rotero not going to worry too much about the Frostmat. It is the shield and mute jammer that are more important. Taken down there, a Frostmat can be shot out as they go in through the window. Should they
you don't want to do that,
You don't really want to. The Rotero drone is going to take it out. It's a roll of the dice when you're going through the window. It's not guaranteed that you will hit the Frostmat. I'm not sure the actual percentage. I think it's about 65-70% chance that you do hit it. So it's pretty frequent that you clear it out. But cleared out is Black Ray.
Frequent, is it, Tim? It's a free
indeed.
kill.
Black Ray is going to get cleared out. He might actually get collected here. This is not a bad shout. You're going to have the Monty going in. Anaton going to take the opportunity to pick him up. Woogieman unable to deliver the final blow there. But still, it's not ideal for CYCLOPS.
No, the big one really is if you're jumping in through a window, 1, you're locked into a vault animation, and 2, you must look at the floor. You can't look at the guy to your right that's about to shoot you in the face, so it can be horrific. But the Monty is inside a sight. He's going for a plant here. He's got cover on the window as well. That could be a great smoke coming out while he tries and stick. He was going to try, but is finding himself slowly being chucked down there. Irrigator falling by the wayside. DAMWON Kia finding the opener they need, and now you've got Katsang tucked in just to the right to make his life absolute hell.
Much better from DAMWON Kia than we've seen from them previously, maybe over the last few rounds. They are looking pretty good here. Anaton, he's looking to get himself into a position. He really wants to get this diffuser down, but it's going to be difficult because he's got the pulse watching over him at the minute, and Katsang has a nitro in hand, so will be able to deny any plant attempt. There are more toxic babe canisters that can come in, and Anaton right now is on super low health, so CYCLOPS, they've got themselves between a rock and a hard place here, Des. There's not too much that they can do. This is going to be a real struggle for them. Suzuki tries to get something going, tries to be the catalyst, but he can't. Anaton is going for that plant again. Can Katsang do something about it? There goes the nitro. There comes the kill. It's a little too late. Courted beats him to it. Finds his man with the toxic babe canister. Diffuser down on the ground, and the kills keep coming for DAMWON Kia. Katsang, Courted. They both get in a little more on the action. 5v1 Black Ray. He's going to take his 15 seconds here for CYCLOPS to have a little chat.
I think they need it as well. Unfortunately, they put so much stock in trying to get that Monty in to go for a plant. And sure, you've got the flanks held. You managed to force them away from playing on the top side site, but they have plenty of throwable smoke canisters into a tight area. C4s to come out. The little hole off to the right-hand side that Katsang on the puff.
I think try and hold on to the east side. I'm thinking with the Monty that... No, not brought along this time. Anaton going to be bringing the Twitch instead. I saw the blue, and it was obvious it's the same French operator blue, and I assumed that we were seeing the Monty again. But no, it's the Twitch going to be coming along this time. So I might just change up the push a little bit. I thought if they've got the shield, they're going to want to play into a little bit of space, which, you know, obviously pushes you towards that east side of the map, try and get established, and you've just got a little bit more room to work. Might not necessarily be the case now, but with the hard breach of Suzuki on there, I think the likelihood is going to be the play for the initiation wall.
Absolutely. Once again, really doubling down on Gadarado on this knock. They've enjoyed bringing it in pretty much every single round. We did see a change up on who played it in the last round. It was Irrigator bringing that one along. But here, it's back to the old faithful. It's back in the round 7 and 8, which they did win with Gadarado playing on it, that they want to bring it along. And I'm not at all saying that he's the reason why they won, but if you're feeling a bit lucky, you'll try and play behind that again. In he comes here inside the bathroom, getting rid of the Frostmat on the way through. He has tucked in pretty tight here as well. He's got to be a bit wary as he starts to work his way forward. I think they're roughly aware of where he is and should know that he is at least trying to push his way down towards the corridor. At least in this case, though, it's going through lab and storage.
Going to have the knock just holding up for the time being. Gatarada just putting the brakes on, waiting for a little bit of information to come in ahead of him maybe. We've got a late change in setup coming in from the defenders of DAMWON Kia. A minute 10 into the round, just repositioning that shield, knowing that there's potentially going to be pressure from the upstairs of Arcade Mezzanine. Gatarada, he's got some information that there are defenders ahead of him, I think, here, but not too much. He's going to have control of the bottom floor along with Suzushi, so there's sort of a lot of caution being applied to him, but he's got men ahead of him, so I'm not really too sure what's being fed back into him. It's going to be Yas is the closest ahead of him, who's up at the top of Dragon Stairs, so no immediate threat to the knock.
It's quite a pause at this point as well, where it's been peaceful, which sounds really weird to say, but they've kind of like moved with each other and just gone with the flow, like a CYCLOPS have moved forward. DAMWON Kia have kind of moved around them just to avoid getting into a conflict. So CYCLOPS have got to start picking things up here as well. We're into that last sort of 60 seconds here. We've already seen the clock catch them out a couple of times. If you don't make it work in this round, you've only got one more chance. iGator is not having fun. Oh, my word. Come on.
He's trying. There you go.
No.
Is that it?
No.
He's wasting a lot of time on that. Anaton's going to waste a lot of health as he takes a lot of damage there. And there we go. iGator gets himself inside of barrels, nade in hand. Is he going to be able to find himself a kill? Is he going to be able to make it worthwhile? All the work that he put in to try and get through there. He's looking to clear off those jammers. And that is, I think, going to be the case.
I don't know if they're after coated or if they're after the jammers.
I think they were after the jammers. I think we've just heard the Selma charges detonate, so that's going to be the jammers cleared away. Yes, there we go. Oh. At least the top one has. Coated going to find one. Katsang another. Anaton manages to trade that last one back, but 4v3, 10 seconds left to go. iGator's
Whack-a-mole.
Fighting from the stairs, trying to move through gas canisters, trying to move through gadgets. iGator last alive. Closed down by DAMWON Kia. And boy, oh boy, are they fighting back here, taking us to 12 when it looked unlikely. They were 2-6 down, Des.
Yep, 3 rounds on the bounce and 1 more away from overtime. DAMWON's Kia's second performance in overtime on this map. Oh, you'd love to see it. They've got some redemption to do. They've got to make up for lost time the last time round they played this map. So if you get there, wonderful. And at this point, I think CYCLOPS are going to be in a full tailspin as well. They've lost now 3 rounds on the bounce quite decisively as well. Maybe 9 you look at and say, actually, it came down pretty close. It was a matter of a second or so to whether or not the game was done and dusted there and then. But DAMWON Kia, these last couple of rounds, have only dropped 2 members. You know, CYCLOPS are struggling to find anything. Now they get to go to the third site, so the full rotation all the way through. But Tim, it's not back to the most ideal site in the world, is it? It's Armory and Throne, and that really is exactly where the defenders want to be. Look
at that absolute beauty on the replay from Coated there, and getting himself another. He's been a big part of this DAMWON Kia, not just resurgence, but he was strong at the beginning of the game as well. He's been a real constant so far as Coated.
Let's ignore that drone, shall we? The maintenance drone.
Don't worry about that. Everybody's allowed one, and that was Coated's.
Are you?
7 kills so far. He's going well. He's been in a lot of big moments. That's been the thing for Coated. He's been able to step up in a lot of big moments and just give them that little bit of push that they needed to get them over the line.
I should often say, Tim, Coated is gutted.
Coated is gutted.
You would say that's kind of Yorkshire, actually.
It is more York. I was going to let you off with that one, but
how would you say it? Coated is gutted.
No,
not
like that at all.
How would you say it then?
Don't worry about it.
No, do worry about it. I'm not going to say it tonight if I don't hear how you say it.
Don't need to worry about your terrible impressions of me. Gonna be looking at round number 12 then. This is the last regulation round. If DAMWON Kia are able to win this, they take us into overtime where it will be a best of 3. Yay. There we go. The Twitch drone drops down, can continue its work. Going to be looking to clear out gadgets and gather information. Try and see if anybody. There is a man over that side.
See, this is a cute little change. Oh, I'm not quite able to catch him again. It's the same pace. Last time around, Gadarada dropped in, landed on a goo mine. It's why they shot it out first, hoping he'd be a little bit quicker at getting across to cut the rotate of the Legion back. But the same thing happened where I think the Legion was an extra second ahead, so got just across into safety before the Nook was in the doorway.
Drones just absolutely racing around that top floor at the moment. 7 left for CYCLOPS at the minute, so they shouldn't be being starved of information. They should have a good idea of what's going on ahead of them. 1 minute 30 we are coming up to. So we're looking about the halfway mark. We're going to start opening up the line of sight into Throne, so that's going to give a bit of access into sight, but there's a lot of utility to be cleared before they can really think about going in for any sort of plan to a final execution.
Yeah, they kind of got themselves in initially pretty quickly and got their working their way across the top floor. But last time around, they did stall out on the top floor quite a lot because there were a couple of Romas to deal with. It's still the case here where you've got the Legion and there's one playing on the top of Arcade Catwalk as well. So lots to worry about, even with them starting to open up this wall. Oh, look at this. Oh, it could have been beautiful. They shotgun the wall out, hoping to spray the man, but just couldn't quite find him. Black Ray tucking away quite safely into the back corner. Otherwise, that could have been disastrous.
Really unfortunate there at what was a beautiful attempt at teamwork, just trying to get that line of sight, but it wasn't to be. Quarter taking a bit of damage inside a side, just dips away from that challenge, manages to keep himself fighting, and that's a good decision. He's got 3 Toxic Babe canisters in pocket. He doesn't want to be giving this up. If he can survive for about another 20 seconds, he can smoke out the remainder of the round. One of them is going to be detonated. We've got 2 goo mines in pocket for Yas, not in a position to get them down anywhere effective, but Katsang, beautiful angle from the hatch, takes down Gadarada.
Just too easy, really, isn't it? And now Cyclops are into the last 30 seconds, down a man, and the nades in his back pocket. It's not looking pretty. In comes a blind swing, even where he's looking in that case. Black Raid is taken out. Looks like someone wandering around with no idea where they were. Yas gets another one across. A 5 versus 2. Make it a complete and utter shutdown. It's a flawless round for DAMWON Kia, and the woes deepen for Cyclops here. They'll be praying that they get to start this overtime half on the defense.
Choking not only in the Toxic Babe canister, but choking in the game as well. There's Cyclops 6-2 up. They have thrown this lead away and find themselves now in overtime. They just haven't been able to get anything done in the last 4 rounds. DAMWON Kia, they've woken up. They really do look like that team that we've seen over the last 12 months. They were just very quiet in the sort of middle of this game where Cyclops were able to build themselves up a big lead, but they've really found their feet there, and as you say, it could be all about who is on the defence first here, and it is DAMWON Kia. This could be their opportunity to secure top spot.
And it's interesting how they haven't gone for the reset and gone back to Armory and Throne. They've kind of carried on with the rotation they had back when we were in regulation, because in rounds 9, 10, 11, they went Armory, Lab, and then Bunk. In rounds 12 and 13, we've gone Armory and then straight into Lab. Well, actually, total lie. They were on Lab for 2 seconds, now they've changed away again. I feel heartbroken. They've gone back for Armory, never mind. I'm rattled. Because they were on Lab and I was like, oh, I could talk about that. Let's go look at my numbers and look at how the sides have played out. And then they go to Armory at the last second, honestly.
You're having
livid, absolutely fuming.
Having absolutely none of it.
All right, we're going back to Armory again. How many times have they played it now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, big fans of the throne room, Tim.
Plenty of throw-on play. Plenty of throw-on play. 2 for DAMWON Kia, round 7 and round 9. Cyclops won the first, DAMWON won the second. Sorry, third was round 12. So 2 wins, 1 loss for DAMWON Kia on this site. So a 66% win rate, and they're going to be looking to improve on that even further. Bump it up to 75 if they can get this one done. It's going to be a little bit about holding on to that top floor again. We saw that great interplay of them around bunks and around daycare, just trying to frustrate Cyclops. Burn time, finding kills through hatches, cheap angles, just every trick in the book that they could use. Now then, Gatarada, he's going to go in. Can he catch his man this time? Yes, he can! Gatarada on the 3rd time of trying. He gets in there and gets Yas taken down, cuts off the Legion, and that is going to be the opener.
He's tried so many times going in through control. This time round works it completely different and comes in through the connector between Cash and between Office. Beautiful entry, and you've taken down someone who'd been really warming up over the last 3 rounds. Yas with the 3K in the last. Good man to take off the board. They've still got Anaton on that Jackal as well, looking to deal with 1 or 2 more roamers. But from below, Rin misses some critical shots as one steps inside a cafe. No concerns there. Katsang getting tripped out by a nade coming through, but not yet down.
Gatarada, he's going to just be looking around the corner here, trying to get himself out of cafe. He knows there's another man. The Jackal ping comes in. Anaton finds Katsang. That gives us a little bit of freedom upstairs for Cyclops now. 5 versus 3, and it's time for DAMWON Kia to really batten down the hatches and try to hold on. Courted, as I've said, coming in with another big kill at an important moment. Manages to find Black Ray, shuts down the book, ends the vertical destruction, and allows DAMWON Kia now to maybe hold on to what they've got.
And that's before even dropped away as well. That was on the upstairs, so still being given hell around the map. Gatarada into a second. This is what happens when the knock can be effective. Finds a couple, but Woogieman balances the books. It's a 2 versus 2. 60 seconds to play with. There's still tons of time though, Tim. They're going straight in towards the back of the site here as well. No diffuser on side just yet. Okay, I'll lie. Now Suzu, she's got it in back pocket. Coated has got it all to do. He has 1 smoke left in back pocket and a hell of a lot of work to do against these last 2. Gets shot out by Suzu Shi. Cyclops break the streak here. End the 4-round win streak by DAMWON Kia and put themselves up to match point.
We are really in for this one now. Unfortunate for DAMWON Kia there. They made a real effort to hold on to that, but ultimately CYCLOPS able to just grind them down at the end and find those final kills. Courted could do nothing inside of sight. Coming in to round number 14 now with a potential 15. CYCLOPS have a map point opportunity. They had this for the longest time, Des. They were 6-2 up and they lost 4 attempts to close this out. Can they do it here and now?
Well, we're going to find out, Tim.
The interesting thing is a result where CYCLOPS win in overtime, I think leaves us with DAMWON Kia on top of the table.
Possibly.
So DAMWON Kia pick up 1 point. Yep, top right, confirms it. So DAMWON Kia pick up 1 point, and that is enough to secure them up onto 14, and CYCLOPS will only go onto 13.
But it's not quite the story you want going through all out the playoffs and the major.
Getting top spot by losing to CYCLOPS, but get into overtime.
Or another team that you go into the major with or to playoffs with, you know, but they did lose on that last day, so maybe they kind of fell off towards the end of the season.
Exactly.
That'll be the narrative that follows them around, and that's what they want to try and avoid here. Let's see, though, how round goes into the final 3 minutes of play. Then not just of, well, not necessarily the final 3. If CYCLOPS win, it's the final 3. Could be that penultimate round if DAMWON Kia get one back on the board. And as a reminder, this is the last game of the stage of APAC North as well. The only real changes that can happen now are more glory points. It's more narrative than anything else. We'll see how it steps forward.
Throne was played 3 times by CYCLOPS as well, but DAMWON Kia were able to win 2 attacks there. So once again, the statistics, the odds are favouring DAMWON Kia here to get this done. But CYCLOPS right now, they just know that the opportunity is there. They can lock this one out. Like you say, just take that momentum, take that bit of kudos with them into the playoffs, knowing that they were able to get that final win. Courted is going to be getting on the drones. They're looking for what's going on the top floor, something obviously that DAMWON Kia have just played heavily there when playing on this site, so they're going to be extra cautious to make sure they're going across there, clearing out any roamers. It was something they did well at the very beginning of this game, which was where they won their first 2 Throne rounds. It was getting in there, clearing out roamers and getting themselves a nice advantage.
Woogieman looking for what he can. I've only just clocked, by the way, Woogieman's 18-6 this game. Oof. He's on fire. Like, we can talk about everyone else, sure, but the multi-kill rounds that Woogie's racked up, there's been a few of them as well. He's been absolute fire. Gadarada for the 2nd round in a row is going to find Yas here. This time round, the tables have turned. He's on the defense and Yas was on the attack, but it gets traded out as well straight after. Woogieman making it 19 and surely looking towards 20 on this map.
Going to have a man down in sight. Courted once again, able to sneak in and start getting the diffuser down. I'm not sure that CYCLOPS have got any idea. They've suffered to this once and they've allowed it to happen again. Katsang is down, unlikely to be collected, so it leaves us effectively 4 versus 3. But CYCLOPS, they need to start finding kills and they need to start finding them now. They're trying to push onto the man inside a bathroom, but the flash chargers come out and make that a difficulty. And right now, there's not too much movement coming in. Surely not. Courted, he's having a look. He's thinking about this. He gets his kill. Is he going to pick Katsang up? This could be the daring rescue here. No, instead he steps out and gets the final kill. Right choice. As much as he wanted to pick his teammate up, he closes out the round, and that's going to be DAMWON Kia taking us all the way, Des.
Unbelievable, Tim. 15 rounds to close out the final game. You love to see it. But again, even with the Goyo in place there, that's what we've been speaking about. Massive area of spread. You can't just run through it. 2 players just run through it. Coated first, in for the plant. The Sledge, unfortunately, down behind him with Katsang, but they do enough to find kills around the map and to stop that cross coming through because there was a 3rd man standing on the Dragon door. Beautiful stuff by DAMWON Kia, and you've really got to commend their play on attacking this site. In most rounds, we've seen them attacking it. They have just gone, okay, 3, 2, 1, rush back at the site, behind the throne, get the plant down and hold that ground because you stop the cross coming in. Unless there's C4s or smoke canisters or anything like that on the side of the defenders, there's very little they can do. And even with the Yokais on side, Tim, they haven't adapted to use those to deny that plant even once.
Well, we are coming into round 15, and only fitting, really, Des, that you and I cast the last game of APAC North for the stage, and it goes all the way to 15 rounds. It just wouldn't be right without it, would it? No. DAMWON Kia holding on for as long as possible. They keep fighting their way back into this time after time after time, but they just haven't ever been able to get themselves a clear lead and an opportunity, and this is it now. Match point. Whoever wins this wins the whole thing.
We've seen Lab Storage once all map long, and that was the big Monty focus play with the Flores on side. Well, CYCLOPS has said, look, we aren't going to try and make that work again. We are going to completely change things up here. You got the Twitch with extra smokes in back pocket. You got that Glaz on side once again. The thing is, Anaton, I don't think you're going to find Yas peeking over the top of a shield this round, so you're going to have to get a little bit more creative.
I think we're going to see probably a bit of a smoke, Glaz, Lion scan attempt at a plant here potentially. We'll see as the round progresses. Irrigate is a ways away at the minute, stayed inside a spawn and is going to be doing some work with those drones, looking to probably clear out some of the gadgetry before they move to go in. Gatorada, nice nade there, just using the walls, bouncing it round the corner, getting the
ping
frost
pong in the bathroom.
Absolutely, just getting, big fan of that, getting the frost mat and the barbed wire cleared out, and you can see the path that they're trying to create for themselves already.
And it's a Gatorada again, I'm always keeping a close eye on. It hasn't really been like a typical Nook kind of flank-based play. Think about like basement Nook, for example, on Bank, when you come up through Garage in the mid to late part of the round. Rinfine and Suzushi traded back out by Aegator just after, mind you. Sees a man in the window, but can't quite find the head. Gets re-swung on as well. Woogie Man makes it 21 kills and now turns his attention in towards the bathroom, waiting for a couple more members of CYCLOPS to step in. They've still got the Glaz on side, but without the twitchy smokes, that impact is going to be lessened slightly.
Gatorada just looking for the angle, turns away at the wrong time. Katsang spraying through the soft wall there onto the yellow ping, but doesn't take any chip damage onto Gatorada. 4 versus 3 just after the halfway mark, and DAMWON Kia are holding on fantastically well right now. They just need to cover off the angles and prevent any access into site. It looked initially like CYCLOPS were going to look for a push through bathroom, maybe under one of those E1D scans, but no longer possible as Suzushi was taken out first to begin with. Anaton just trying to get anything he can going from the bathroom window. Gatorada sees a man, sprays, but can't find a kill. There's potentially a nade going to come in. He knows that he's in the back there, but the Frost manages to escape. That's going to be Woogie Man just keeping himself alive for a little bit longer.
Gatorada down to about 5 HP as well. Not ideal there. Nade in hand, got sprayed a couple of times. Fortunate to not be dead. Yaz was hanging upstairs freely, by the way. No one to contest him. Anaton's in. Smokes are coming out. Waits for the swing. Sees the man, but can't quite find the head. Coated down to about 40. Now finds him, and both of those smokes are offline. Anaton sees one more coming. Can't quite find him, but he was the Overwatch. Gets the double kill coming through the other side as well. Gatorada, Plant's going to get stuck, and they've managed to pull it off Tim. It's one hell of a heist, but Black Ray has got to clutch it all by himself against 3 members from DAMWON Kia.
Not going to be easy here as the angles are being watched. Black Ray, he's having to give it some fancy footwork to try and find himself some space, but damage is raining in. He's going to be taken out. It's Yas, but ultimately Woogie Man, he defuses that he disables that diffuser. 21 kills, and if they weren't scared of the Woogie Man before, they certainly should be now, because he has just fought DAMWON Kia back into this time after time after time.
6-2.